Basketball fans, welcome back. So we are midway in the Sahara Conference, and so far we've seen 4 games happen. And yesterday we had 2 games. So we had US Monastir versus Kriol Star. Then we had the clutch game between Ville de Dakar, the home team, and Petro de Luanda. So I'll be releasing 2 videos just to round out the first half of games in the Sahara Conference. And in this one, I will focus on the US Monastir versus Kriol Star game. So this game was, I must say, it was predictable. The result was something that I can't say it is a surprise, because US Monastir, they won this game 88-72, and this game happened. This game, when it happened, I was like, I was just waiting to see what Kriol Star is going to go ahead and do in this game. And we had the Almeida brothers doing their thing. So this game had 1,127 fans. And the Almeida brothers did not disappoint. I can even say Ivan Almeida was the guy who was the story of the evening, because he had 22 points and 12 rebounds. So the man was just doing some serious damage. But US Monastir were able to grab the win. And they led in major statistical categories that led them to, go ahead and win this game. So I was very excited to see this, but the game that I was really looking forward to was the Petro de Luanda versus Ville de Dakar game. And I must say, this game that we're going to look at in the next video did not disappoint. But in this one, US Monastir were able to grab the win. They shot 47% from the field, 57% on 2-point field goals, and 37% from downtown. So this game I was keen enough to see how both teams are going to shoot the 3-ball, because I've seen a couple of times, especially in the Kalahari Conference, as I covered it, teams really struggle shooting the 3-ball. And this one, I can say both teams really struggled, because as you can even see, like even with the Kriol Star in this loss, out of 36 attempts, only 11 went in, and it was very difficult. And the tight defense was the major thing that led to this outcome. And US Monastir, a team that hails from the northern part of Africa, I can say African basketball runs through the North African teams, and US Monastir is one of them. And you can see even the efficiency and how they're able to shoot even from the field was the difference, and that's what made them win. And they out-rebounded Kriol Star 46 rebounds to 42, and in the assist department, they did not let up. And this game was interesting because there was no block coming from Kriol Star, which was something that was insane. But anyway, it is what it is. So US Monastir with the 5 blocks. Patrick Hardy Jr. was the guy who led the US Monastir team in scoring with 19 points. Firas Layani, another player that I've been monitoring in this US Monastir team, he had 15 points in there. And he also led in total rebounds with 8. Then Eldridge, he had 8 total assists. So this game, I can say it was a bit predictable. It was just a matter of time for us to see US Monastir just go ahead and grab this win, because it would be a very bad look if they're not able to go ahead and win this game. So they lost to the AS Ville de Dakar team in the first game, and it was a clutch game. At least they're able to get back-to-back wins. So it puts them in the playoff picture, because if you look at the standings as you see them in the Sahara Conference, you'll see that the top team is the AS Ville de Dakar, then US Monastir, then you have Petro, and then you have Kriol Star. So this win that they got was so essential, because at least they're able to build up on the next half of games they're going to play, because this is the first half of the games. So the next games, as they tip off, we'll have like the final stretch of 6 games that we'll see who's going to go ahead and make it. And if it's Derabat, a team from the Kalahari Conference, will they be able to sneak in? Because that's the same thing that we saw with the Cape Town Tigers after the Kalahari Conference. You had the Nile Conference. So after the Nile Conference, they're able to sneak in. So hopefully you can be able to see something like that happen. But if nothing like that happens, we'll have to wait until the Sahara Conference, not even Sahara Conference ends, but also the Nile Conference as they end. So this one, I must say, it was It was a very good game. I really like the way teams start because there are not too many bad starts in this tournament. Because in the Kalahari Conference, you could see there are a couple of teams that really had like a very slow start, and the slow starts led to very bad outcomes and blowouts set in. But in this one, you could see the way teams started the games was so decent. And US Monastir 17 points to Kriol Stars 18. So Kriol Star were very solid when they started the game, but unfortunately, the productivity that you need to go ahead in the whole game, especially in all the four quarters, was non-existent, and that hole got dug in the second half, and it was and the thing that accelerated that was the poor second quarter performance by Kriol Star. The US Monastir team had a quarter high 28 points. So this one led to the outcome that we've seen. It was just it was a couple of points. It was point spread of like 10 points, and it ran through the whole game. Even with the last hitch efforts at the end, at least you could see Kriol Star fighting, but the damage that was delivered to by US Monastir in the second quarter was the reason why. And the crazy thing was, in the fourth, both teams were tied at 24 points. So that was another thing. And the worst thing that I've seen, even with these games, especially in playing against North African teams, is the simple fact that the North African teams, in this case, US Monastir, they are very good at capitalizing on other people's mistakes, especially if you foul them, because this team is very good at shooting from the line, and they rarely miss their free throws. And in this one, they got sent to the line 18 times. They made 12 of them, and Kriol Star didn't do even a good job in drawing fouls. So this was another major problem that I can even say set them back. Even with whatever they tried to do during the game, it just wasn't working. And US Monastir, they led in total rebounds, assists, and you could see points from turnovers, just like I mentioned earlier. Like, they're very good at capitalizing on that. Fast break points, they led in those statistical categories that swung the game in their favor, especially in the second quarter, where they brutalized Kriol Star. At some point when I was watching this game live, the scoring came slowest when it came to the second quarter for Kriol Star, and they're not able to get back there. And all the thing that US Monastir just had to do was just wait it out and just keep their scoring consistent, and that's the only thing that they had to do. So I watched this game live yesterday and didn't get the chance to react to it at the time. I mean, I've been a bit held up with the BAL videos, but hey, it is what it is. I've not been able to be very consistent, especially when it comes to like the BAL games. When it comes to like the analysis, these videos take too long to make. But you can see BAL. Some of the games are just predictable, especially when it comes to like teams that are inexperienced and you're matching up against an experienced team. So US Monastir, they're able to get that win there, and they have now a 2-1 record, and Kriol Star have a 1-2 record. And Kriol Star are able to do the unthinkable. They're able to beat their home team, something that US Monastir couldn't do. But we'll see what US Monastir is going to do, because the next game that they're going to play against the AS Ville de Dakar, and that's going to be a very difficult matchup. If they're not able to deal with the mistakes of the past. I know the game that they played AS Ville de Dakar, that game was a clutch game, and it was something that they could have been able to, win it, but the game didn't go their way. But I feel like with the first round of games concluded, the second round of games changes, because now the teams already know, they've already done their scouting reports, they know their team's strengths and weaknesses, and they can be able to adjust. Because one thing that I've noticed with the first half of games, teams are just trying out new ways to win the games, and scoring doesn't come quickly, and even the play style that they have to adopt throughout the quarters and throughout the minutes is not something that they can be able to adjust quickly and on the fly. But in the second round of games, that's where you see games become close, games get difficult, and when games get difficult, you're seeing teams find ways to go ahead and win the basketball games. And one thing that I've even noticed is the second half of games, that's where the game just gets more serious. And I know the no game is like taken lightly because every single win is so important. And this is the time where teams just gear up to win every single game. Like what USM did last year was, I can say it was a miracle, because they started off 0 for 3, and even mentioned like in previous videos I made, when they started 0 for 3, things looked pretty bleak for them because they're on the brink of missing the playoffs at that time for the second straight year. The first time they missed it, they had a winning record, but their point differential was not the best. And this one for last year when it happened, I felt like they missed the playoffs, but they're able to pick it up and they're able to have a tie record of 3-3, and they're able to sneak into the playoffs. So nothing is impossible, especially the Sahara Conference. You can see no team is going to go unbeaten. I know we had Al Ittihad in the Kalari Conference just sweeping every single team, and River Hoopers just doing the demolition jobs, and you could see Al Ittihad went 6-0. But that doesn't guarantee a championship because the level of competition keeps changing, especially when you get to the playoffs. You can have a very good regular season like Petro de Luanda had in BAL season 3. Then when it comes down to the playoffs, you get knocked out in the semis. So anything can happen. So I'm very much excited with these games. I mean, I've been keeping tabs of BAL and also the NBA playoffs, which I'll be uploading videos on the main channel. I know I've not been active in the main channel for about 2 weeks now, but I'm going to make it. I'm going to try to make it regular, and I'm also going to give updates on the NBA. I know a lot of things have happened. I mean, I'm a Laker fan. The Lakers, they're going to play Game 5. Hopefully, can force a Game 6. But anyway, BAL has been awesome. I mean, I think we're going to be in store for a very good BAL playoffs. And I'm pretty much looking at it. And you can see in this game, US Monastir are able to do something that they needed to do. They needed to put away Kriol Star quickly. And with this win with Kriol Star, I feel like even the second time they can be able to go ahead and defeat them, because it's highly unlikely that US Monastir are going to like fall easily like that. I know the games are going to get difficult, but if they can continue to like pile it on, if they can continue to like fight, especially with the powerhouse in AS Ville de Dakar, another team that they're new to BAL, but the players they have BAL veterans in there. They have Big Four in there. And US Monastir right now, they're just looking very mortal. They're not looking as the imposing threat that they were in previous years. I know after that BAL championship in 2022, this team has been on a downward spiral. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs in BAL season 3. BAL season 4, they barely made it through the rounds in the playoffs in the postseason. They couldn't be able to do it. Will they be able to go back to back? I don't think. Not even back to back, but the second championship, I don't think so, because there are so many other teams. But USM are a team that I hold in high regard, and I feel like they can go ahead and go deep in the playoffs. I mean, semis at best. I'm not gonna stretch it up to the finals, because getting the finals is very difficult. That means you have to win every single game. So yeah, and there's one stat that I saw that was very interesting in this. I didn't cover in the previous game when USM beat Petro de Luanda. I mean, USM have never lost to Petro de Luanda. Like that's another interesting stat. And can we see Kriol Star bounce back in the second round of games? I mean, that's one thing that I'll be looking at. But this game was very awesome. I mean, we had multiple players, doing some good things in there. But the game, even the way I looked at it, I just felt like USM are just going to, put away Kriol Star. I know Kriol Star able to win a nail biter against Ville de Dakar, and I feel like it's not going to happen again. And Ville de Dakar are that team that look like they are going to top the Sahara Conference if they continue at that same pace. So I will be monitoring all these teams, just like I mentioned earlier, and I feel like we're in store for a very good BAL postseason. And I'm also waiting on the games as it continues, so that you can see what type of teams to look out for, especially when it comes down to, the BAL playoffs. And also, even the BAL, the postseason, the way it happens, I'll be grading like every conference, like what I saw in the Kalari conference. I saw a lot of things that happened in that conference that I'm going to address as I compare like the conferences and the teams they played. So I'll also release like reviews on that one, so stay tuned to that. So and then in the next video I'm going to talk about Ville de Dakar versus Petro de Luanda, which was a nail biter. I felt like this game will have gone to overtime, but hey, it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.